tips and tricks for building in Fallout 76. If you saw my last video, I had a small pagoda house on my low-level character Scarlet. This is my main character Emily. All my characters have the same face base because I tried to make them look like me. I don't know if I was successful or not, you'll have to ask my friends. Emily, I think, is level 228. No, 328. So she's been playing Fallout 76 for quite a bit. My last camp was a pagoda style house, and I pondered about whether I could do a bigger pagoda, and I kind of ended up building a temple. So this is the tour of that build. These trees are from the Atom shop. There is a lot of scrub in this area and sort of dead bits of tree, so mostly they're there to get rid of that. There is a covered walkway here and into the temple area. I've heard there is currently, in May 2020, a glitch that means that people can take stuff out of your punch bowls, so if I'm on a public server I do actually remove that. Same with vending machines. My vending machine is currently not set up. I used drums on this build. I thought it was more appropriate than guitars. So the Oriental Decorations here. I have managed to sneak in my rad shower. This camp, like the previous one, is built using double walls. I used the double barn walls, but apparently you can use the brick walls as well. They will overlap in one place, and then you just convert the walls to whatever you want. These wall torches I think came from a Mothman Atom store pack. I'm not quite sure what that flashing is. These are West Virginia Birdhouse wind chimes, but from a distance they sort of look oriental to me with the red, so I used those. This obviously isn't square, it needs to be 2 deep to get the ladders in. The roofs are the square roof, 2 square roofs, and then regular roofs round the side, and that sort of corner roofs and regular slanted pieces. This is a short rustic bench. I didn't have that plan. I had to get a friend of mine to build quite a few of these in my camp so I could use them. I'm hoping I won't get attacked while I'm here because I've already had. I'm going to take a little shortcut. I have armour that prevents fall damage, so, and bird bones, which makes you lighter, so you take less damage when falling as well. I've used the new garden tiles. There are foundation tiles and upper floors. I do plan to do a house with a roof garden at some point. I'm also thinking about doing an introduction video explaining the games that I play and my style, and showing some pictures of builds I've done in the past that I plan to replicate for my channel. I've always had a lot of compliments on my builds, and I've only recently started recording them. I'm not sure Houdini likes the muddy spots, but there's space to put more crops over here if I need them. There are 2 rectangular buildings that are pretty straightforward. The rug and the curtains came from the Atom store. I think, oh, and the fridge, but I think everything else is available from plans in game. The plants, again, I'm afraid, Atom store. Obviously, as a player that's been playing 76 for a long time, I have a lot of Atom store stuff, but I have noticed that they quite often repeat items in the Atom store. So if there's something you missed, you can get it later on. I did in fact miss this floor. I wanted it for, I did a sort of Roman spa, which I will be replicating and doing a video on. I wanted these tiled floors, but I'd missed them, and funnily enough they came up just after I built it, so I replaced some of my floors with these mosaic sort of tiled floors. The sink, again, is another Atom store thing. You can actually collect water from this, but it is quite slow. If you do use a lot of boiled water to cook, I'd recommend just going to a river, because you can collect it much more quickly than you can from a pump or a sink. Can have pets in 76. They will defend your camp. You can get a tamed animal using a card, but cats are only level 1 and they will die quite quickly. I did have a wolf called Vic for some time. He was level 10, but he died. I did replace him, which took about 2 weeks to find another wolf. Because you can only use animals at certain spawn points, not just any animal. It has to be a lone animal, so it takes a while to find. But he died again quite quickly afterwards, so I gave that up. This is my workshop. I have most of the standard benches. This is a little surprise I will show you in a minute. Fusion generator. I don't use the wire through connector. I convert my walls to barn window. I stick a power conduit on a wall, convert it to a barn window, and just thread through that, and then convert the wall back. Because these are double walls, I had to convert the wall twice, but that's how I power. It's an easy trick and saves having to mess around with the conduit. I have Beckett as a companion in my camp, although apparently he's sulking in the bushes. I'm not quite sure why, but that's kind of convenient because he sort of gets in the way sometimes. Ignore the dead scorched on the floor. He apparently wanted a bar, so I built him a bar. It's a little contained area, and I lock that door so that when he's in there he can't actually get out. Possibly that's why he's sulking in the bushes. The open sign is actually on a painting, on the back of a painting. I converted the wall to a wall, put the painting on the floor, and then converted it to a door, because frankly this abomination they gave us as Beckett's bar, apart from the very top, which is quite attractive, the whole thing is hideously ugly. The wallpaper at the back there was a Nuka Shine wallpaper that was available over Easter. There was an event where you collected things in the Atom store, and if you got all of them you got a free wallpaper at the end, and I do quite like that wallpaper. So that's Beckett's bar. I don't think he's worked out yet that he can only trade with me, so he only has one customer. So I think he's basically a kept man. I had built this camp previously up near Site Bravo. There is a big flat plateau up here, which I've built on before, and no respawns. Quite a few people have built there. And when Bethesda announced Wastelanders, they showed the map and areas you wouldn't be able to build anymore, like for example here, because they put in this camp. But there was nothing here. But when I logged in on the day that Wastelanders started, there was a huge tent in the middle of my temple. They'd converted it into a logging camp with no warning. So trying to find another place that was flat. This place for me was ideal because it also had views of the Palace of the Winding Path. I've actually ended up here to the right of Hopewell Cave. It's a nice flat area, unfortunately no views, but it's quite convenient. For the nearest vendor is Sunnytop, so you can fast travel there for a few caps, or even walk, although obviously this area around here is quite a dangerous area because there's a fifth site. But there we go, this is my temple. I kind of think it looks more complicated than it is, but the overall effect, the aesthetic I like, and having the living accommodation and the workshop separately. The covered walkway was done by putting a ladder down and putting 3 upper floors up. You then use half floors to line the pillars up on the corners rather than in the middle. Once the pillars are done, you take the floors down and put roofs up. Well, that's all from me today, so thank you for watching.